I would love to play through Danger by Design with you as well, Robert, because I know A, you did a couple voices in that game, but B, I know you've done a lot of French history education in your life. I mean, Calina, before anyways, I joined the Zoom call, and Robert, he started with a French greeting and French question, like right away.
Because I want to welcome you as a bilingual citizen.
I know, I appreciate it.
Nation
you went to school in France, didn't you, Robert?
Mais oui, yes. I went to the Faculté des Lettres and l'Institut d'études politiques.
It's just amazing. See, even hearing you speak French, all I hear are the characters from Danger by Design, like the underground police or the French tourists or
yes,
or the American tourists, yeah. Because there are the underground police that speak to each other, and I think you're just playing both roles. And then when you're doing the parfait puzzle, there's the American tourists that are speaking. They just say "Oui, c'est ça," or parfait, stuff like that. And I think that's all just you doing those voices.
Yeah, I love doing those, like even directing them. Like for the one in Venice, we had these Italian professors come, and we're just like, just ad lib, and they're like, "What do we do?"
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, it's for a kids. I don't speak Italian. I'm like, it's for a kids thing, so don't.
Nigel gave that
anything
to
bad.
me when I was in the
Sometimes they
library
would.
once. I think he was hoping it would scare
Well, I remember
me,
because
but
we
it
talked about that in
didn't.
the interview
I'm
that I
too
did with
smart to
you,
believe in that sort of
and
stuff.
and you actually brought up some of the things they said in Italian, and then you asked what did they say, and they told you, and it was just like, where can I find a good place to eat food? And then the other guy goes, my apartment or something. I just think that's brilliant. Now this book, when I was a kid, I must have first played this when I was like 6 or 7, which is, the game is meant for everyone ages 10 and up, so a 6 or 7-year-old playing this game is perfect recipe for disaster. Especially like this, I was like fascinated but terrified with this, the whole lycanthropy idea, and all this stuff was kind of freaky, but it was this image here that just freaked me out as a kid. I don't know why. It's a spooky image, but that was the one that freaked me out.
It's weird.
But so with all this text, who would have written all this? Would that have been you as the designer, or would that have been the writer?
It would have been me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
What's it like to
to
just write all this stuff?
It's actually fun because what I would do is I would look at something similar and then try to get kind of the tone and feel for it.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes artists would write it, and sometimes Anne would write it too. It just depended on kind of like who was doing what. Right.
Calina, as the games went on, and as you were sort of around and more, paying more attention as the years went on, did that role change, or was that mostly still with the designer that was writing those little in-game texts?
Well, when I was intern and
what is this book?
Don't know really.
Like
Ethel gave it to me. She said it belonged to my grandfather.
I don't know,
Do
2015
you
or
think
so.
Grady Armstrong is cute?
That would mostly be the writer.
Okay.
The writer who would create extra content
right.
for the artist to insert.
Interesting. Okay. Now this book, I only recently figured out how to use it properly. But the mutus liber, which I actually, if you Google translate mutus liber from Latin to English, it comes up as dumb Freeman, which is inaccurate because mutus liber is the silent book because there's no text in it. There's just images, which is really quite fascinating. And there are I think there is a real mutus liber, and to get like an authentic copy, it's like hundreds or thousands of dollars or something. But
each of those cups seems to be associated with a
I did a lot of
Roman
research in
numeral.
alchemy too.
Right,
so,
yeah.
There's a lot of reference to that.
Well,
I think this is all IU's work.
I think it is, yeah, because her artwork is unbelievable. It's unparalleled. It's some of the most beautiful stuff in the whole series. But something I want to point out actually is this page right here, because you'll see that it's like a parchment where you can draw on this side and you can kind of see through on this side, and that is actually accurate to the real mutus liber, where there is actual parchment in the book just like this, where you can flip that over and you'll kind of see through the page, which after researching I was like, oh, that's a great little detail, and I never would have known that otherwise. But yeah, these are all obviously. This is the entire game really summed up into one book, and.
Oh yeah, it's the process as a penguin that you got to go through to
exactly. Yeah.
find the.
Who's this?
That's my
Mummy.
mum, my real mum. She's an opera singer. It's not like she's famous or anything, but she does live in Paris.
Would have been great if we. I can't remember. Are there any allusions to her in Danger by Design, by any chance?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that would have been good. And I remember this. So the first time I had encountered this game was 2000, I think 5 or 6, where my friend who introduced me to the games, she was playing this, and she hadn't beat it yet, but it had just come out a couple years prior. And so I was there when she beat it for the first time, and I actually told her, "Oh, you've got to go." Well, I won't spoil it. I'll get there when we get there. But I also remember she mentioned that Nancy doesn't have a reflection, and I was like, "Oh, she doesn't, does she? Doesn't she?" And that was it. That was my first interaction with that as well.
She's a vampire.
Ongoing joke.
I know, Transylvania Nancy Drew. I have this tapestry as a poster actually downstairs.
Oh wow!
And I've got it framed, and it's really cool.
That was written by Charles Penvillin way back in like the 1500s. When I read it, it seemed really
with an
familiar,
apostrophe.
you know?
Oh, I think the apostrophe is going to be the quote of the day. In the game files, there's actually an unfinished render of this shot where some of the lighting is different, and I think it's just brighter and more zoomed in. But
I can kind of speak to that.
Oh yeah.
I was actually looking at that art to repurpose for the merchandise.
Yes.
And I wasn't the one who made it available in the merchandise store because I didn't see it as a high resolution image enough to be for print. But when I was looking for it, I found alternative art that you probably have seen. That wasn't the original design. It was a little bit more red, I think.
No, so I think so. What I'm thinking of is like it's this render, except it's more. It's just like close up, I guess. If that makes sense. Yeah, so it's not.
I gave away. There was a different design.
Memories and happiness and wonder. With a stalwart heart of
I didn't even know she
knight,
read this.
let
I had no
charity
idea.
Be thy guiding angel. Stay firm in knowledge as a dedicated geometer, and fear not the ravages of Father Time.
Father Time.
For, dear child, as you learn the lessons of folly, the secrets of this world shall dawn in thy soul.
There you go.
Conveniently,
So-
Nancy's voice emphasizes the key words
Yeah,
that
I
she's paying attention to.
Oh.
Oh, Brady
You had a
Armstrong.
guinea
Oh
pig?
yes.
Yes, but it died.
Oh,
When?
I don't know.
it's like Fleabag.
That's what I want to know.
Oh, I just love that. I love that. I had a guinea pig, but he died. When? I don't want to talk about it, Nancy.
I totally love that show. Isn't Brady Armstrong so dreamy? Total hottie.
Total hottie indeed.
Oh, yeah, for Petunia Highway, it was. I think it's a play on something that was popular back then.
Was it?
And there's advice. There's contest winners.
Yep, the two girls right there.
Oh, right there. Of
Right.
course. That's brilliant. And then his head photoshopped right on there, and this lovely little render, and yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. World premiere broadcast only on the Heartthrob channel.
I don't get that channel.
Neither do I. I try and stay away from that one.
Oh no!
Looks like you're learning some interesting
The
stuff.
Easter egg. I will get to that.
You wouldn't
Yes.
say that if you were the one who had to learn it.
Now I think there's actually again another unfinished version of this artwork in the game files. And sorry, when I say game files, I mean like the video files that have been shipped with the game. I don't actually mean
Yeah,
the internal ones. But there's one that doesn't actually have her little graffiti on it. Anyways, so we got to press this 10 times to get an Easter egg, the chattering teeth. So we're gonna press this 10 times and get the
about
Easter
10
egg.
times,
Let's do it. Or we could come back. I don't know. I guess we should have some filler, right? So we should talk about things.
Yeah. Well, actually, that is a good thing. So who sort of chose Easter eggs and where they'd show up and all that stuff? Yeah.
designer. But again, like artists would come up with something. So I think like the fish in Danger on Deception Island was made by the artist.
Yeah, that was
Kyle Jones and Donovan Larson
That's
together
the one.
made
Yeah.
that one.
Because if you click on it enough times, then a little message comes up saying I forget what his name is, but I was created by Kyle Jones and Donovan Larson. Lumpy, that's it. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
But Scene Builders had the power. Like we had so much power to put whatever we wanted to put.
Exactly.
Well,
there we
that's
go.
the great thing about these games. Like the artists had a lot more ownership for what they did. Like they could model a scene, they could texture a scene, they could light a scene, add the camera points to a scene.